Diddy, Diddy will go to prison for life, people. You don't know things that I knew about Diddy back in the day, and you want to know what? It's about...
The story around Diddy's rise to power has always been clouded by rumors and whispers, but it's about to take a turn that many people didn't see coming. The latest developments surrounding him are pointing to something much darker than anyone could have imagined. Wendy Williams, the radio personality known for her no-holds-barred commentary, has been at the center of this for years. She's known things, seen things, and now, as her life unfolds under public scrutiny, her warnings are finally making sense. People often forget that Diddy is no stranger to scandal. From allegations of trafficking to racketeering, his name has been associated with everything from the rise of bad boy records to some of the shadiest dealings in Hollywood. But now, with his empire seemingly crumbling, it appears that some darker truths are about to be exposed. People are starting to ask serious questions, and the answers might shock you. There's a theory going around that the wildfires in Los Angeles weren't just natural disasters or the unfortunate result of negligence. They may have been strategic, even calculated. People are beginning to notice that these fires targeted some of the wealthiest neighborhoods in LA, including areas that house celebrities like Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Bella Hadid, and Jeff Bridges. The fires moved with such precision, and some are starting to wonder if this was more than just a coincidence. Entire communities were wiped out, 200,000 people were displaced, and over 28 lives were lost. In the wake of all this destruction, something feels off, as if it was all planned. The media frenzy around these fires continues, but it's the aftermath that has people questioning the real story. Insurance companies, for instance, have been pulling out of fire coverage in California for years. Thousands of homeowners were left without any fire coverage, and now, just when the fires hit, it seems like the perfect storm. But the most troubling connection? Diddy's name keeps popping up. The same man facing multiple lawsuits and accusations is now being linked to a firestorm, literally. Some are suggesting that these fires aren't about land grabs or money, they might be about erasing evidence. The evidence that ties Diddy and his powerful connections to something much bigger, something more sinister than we already know. And it's not just about the land, it's about what was hidden under the surface. That brings us to the curious issue of California's water reserves. Why were they drained and restricted before the fires even started? Was it simple mismanagement, or is there something more happening behind the scenes? As people connect the dots, they begin to see a troubling picture. If you're thinking these fires were random, you might want to think again. Some celebrities managed to escape the fires unscathed, including Jay-Z, Beyonce, Oprah, Ashton Kutcher, and Leonardo DiCaprio. None of them had even a scorch mark on their properties. How is that possible when entire neighborhoods were leveled? That's when people started asking the real questions. This brings us to Ollie Carter, a woman who has been warning people for years about the darkest secrets of Hollywood. She claims there's an underground trafficking network operated by some of the most powerful people in the industry. According to Carter, Diddy's house has underground tunnels, ones that lead to various places, amusement parks, hospitals, cemeteries, and even schools. These tunnels were allegedly used for transporting people in and out of the public eye without a trace, including children. Months later, areas tied to Hollywood's biggest secrets are mysteriously burning to the ground, and the timing of these fires feels far too convenient. It seems like someone is trying to cover their tracks, erase evidence of something much darker than we can even begin to imagine. This theory started to gain traction when Wendy Williams herself dropped some bombshells. She's been connecting the dots between Diddy and these catastrophic events for years, and it's all starting to make sense. Wendy has been trying to warn people about Diddy for decades. Back in the 90s, she was the voice of unfiltered gossip and truth-telling on the radio. She wasn't afraid to speak out, even when it meant taking on powerful figures like Diddy. In 1998, she began pushing rumors that Diddy might be secretly involved in a hidden lifestyle, one that wasn't exactly mainstream. Whether or not these rumors were true, they were career-ending for Wendy. She was fired from her position at Hot 97, and it wasn't just a coincidence. Diddy allegedly flexed his industry power and forced the station to make her disappear. If Wendy was going to keep talking, Diddy made it clear he would make her pay for it. But Wendy didn't back down. She continued to push against the industry, and by 2013, she had connected some dots that were difficult to ignore. She spoke out about how hip-hop back in the day was full of hidden relationships, alluding to Diddy's role in the scene. She wasn't the only one to notice these patterns, as others, including Cassie, spoke up about the control Diddy allegedly exerted over the women in his life. Wendy began to predict that the same kind of manipulation Cassie described in her lawsuit was something she had seen in the past. Wendy's courage to speak out put her in direct conflict with Diddy, but in 2017, something odd happened. Diddy appeared on her show to supposedly squash their beef. The whole thing felt staged, like Diddy was trying to keep Wendy close so she wouldn't expose too much. But the damage had already been done. Wendy had already connected the dots between Diddy's behavior and the larger, darker picture. Fast forward to 2018, and Wendy started calling out Diddy's behavior in relation to Cassie's relationship. She wasn't wrong. Wendy's voice remained steadfast in calling out Diddy's manipulation of his relationships, especially the ones where the women seemed to lose themselves. And now, years later, Diddy is facing lawsuits and his world is starting to unravel. Wendy was one of the first to notice the patterns in Diddy's actions, and people are finally realizing that she wasn't just talking trash. She was revealing something much deeper, something that has been lurking beneath the surface for years. But instead of being praised for her foresight, Wendy was punished. She was blacklisted, threatened, and even physically attacked by members of Diddy's inner circle. She didn't back down then, and she's not backing down now. Now that Diddy is facing multiple lawsuits and allegations, people are starting to realize that Wendy was right all along. But there's something even more sinister going on with Wendy herself. Since 2022, Wendy has been placed under a court-appointed guardianship, which means every part of her life is controlled, her finances, her movements, and even who she talks to. This isn't just a legal arrangement, it feels like isolation, like someone is trying to silence her. The lawyer representing Wendy, Roberta Kaplan, has painted a picture of Wendy as mentally incapable of handling her own life, claiming she suffers from frontal lobe dementia. But Wendy's family and fans aren't buying it. They believe she's still sharp and aware of what's going on. Wendy herself has publicly stated that she feels like she's in prison, and she's been fighting to get her life back. But there's a deeper layer to this. Why is it that just when Diddy's world is coming crashing down, Wendy is being silenced under suspicious circumstances? The connection between Diddy and Wendy's guardianship has raised eyebrows. Some are beginning to wonder if Diddy is involved in Wendy's current situation. After all, Wendy was one of the few people in the industry who openly called out Diddy and refused to back down. Could he have played a role in ensuring that Wendy was sidelined at this crucial moment? The timing is strange. Wendy, once one of the most outspoken critics of Hollywood's power players, is now being controlled by a system that's keeping her silent, even as Diddy's world unravels. The more people dig into Wendy's case, the more they're beginning to see the connections. And if Wendy is right, the wildfires weren't just a disaster, they were part of a much larger cover-up. These fires were about erasing people and evidence that could tie Diddy to things far darker than anyone is ready to admit. This is far from over. As more information comes to light, the questions keep multiplying. Why are people scrambling to distance themselves from Diddy? What are they so afraid of? Wendy is telling us that this is just the beginning, and the pieces are falling into place one by one. The truth is out there, but will it be uncovered before it's too late? Keep watching, because Diddy's downfall is happening in real time.